Today, we will discuss a useful feature in Excel which can add more power to your pivot tables without altering any of your datasets. Yes. You got it right, it is calculated fields. Calculated fields will help you arrive at meaningful correlations between your pivot table fields. For example, in your pivot table you have two fields, namely quantity sold and sales price, and to figure out average rate at which you sold your item, you ideally divide total sales value by quantity sold. And now all this can be done within a calculated field in pivot table. Let me explain this and some tips on how to address some common issues while using calculated field. Let's go through the sales data of ABC Pallet Company. Column A represents the date of sales. Column B, the salesman who did the sale. Column C, the region in which it is sold. Column D, the type of pallet product type which is sold. Column E is the average cost price or purchase price per unit. Column F refers to the quantity of the sold items. And column G the average selling price or sale price per unit. It's always preferred to convert your data from range to table while doing a pivot table as it opens up more options for connectivity and calculations. To convert to table, just select the range and then press Ctrl+T. First let me explain a common limitation of calculated field and later I shall show you a workaround solution to address it. For now let's move ahead by creating a pivot table. To create a pivot table, go to Insert and then choose Pivot Table option. Alternatively you can also choose the shortcut key Alt+D+P to call the pivot table wizard. Now that we have the pivot table and pivot fields ready, let's find the purchase value of each item in the region, that is, unit cost multiplied by quantity. For this we need to add calculated field as we do not have this field in the field list. To activate this, go to the first cell in the pivot table, from the Analyze ribbon, choose the field, Items and Sets option and open Calculated Items. Let's name the field as Total Purchase Value and in the Formula field, we would multiply unit cost into quantity. Click Add and OK. Now let's put region into the row field of the pivot table and see how the summary looks like. It is not calculated as per desired as it has multiplied the aggregate total of unit rate and quantity of each region or group. That means instead of multiplying each row-wise, region-wise, quantity times the unit cost, pivot table has calculated subtotal of each region. In this case for American Samoa's aggregate unit rate $33 multiplied by aggregate quantity 18,425 is $608,025. The reason why pivot table has behaved this way is because it doesn't know the relationship between these columns, and that is exactly what we are going to sort out up next. Now, let's start building relationships and connections between related columns using Power Query Editor. For this, go to Data ribbon, choose the Get Data, from the options, choose from other sources, and select from Table Range. This will pull up your table in the Power Query Editor. Now, we are going to create the Calculate column from the Power Query Editor. For this we go to Add Column from the ribbon, choose Custom Columns, enter column name as Total Purchase Value, and in Formula field we multiply unit cost with quantity and press OK. Similarly let's add new column to arrive at Total Sales Value by multiplying quantity by sales price. Now let's load these connections. For this go to File, then choose Close and Load to. From Import Data Connections, choose only Create Connections. This will create the connection without loading a new sheet into your Excel. Now you can see that your connection in Table 1 is created on the right pane of Queries and Connections. Now let's create a pivot table using this connection and verify the results. For this go to Insert from ribbon, choose Pivot Table Options, choose Use an External Data Source, choose your query connection in Table 1 and OK. Now you have a new pivot table utilizing the connections you made earlier. Now let's put region-wise purchase and sales data into the respective fields. This has given us the desired result, unlike the earlier calculated field we tried to do. Also, let's make another pivot table to see which region sold the maximum pallets by its size. Finally, let's do one more pivot table to see which size of pallets gave us maximum profits in each region. For this we need to add the calculated field like we did earlier. Go to Analyze ribbon, Field Items and Set, go to Calculated field, set name as profit, and in Formulas field use total sales less total purchase, OK, and bring this field to values in the pivot table. And here we know exactly which all sizes of pallets has maximized our return in each region. I hope this video on calculated field and Power Query was informative. If you like to see similar videos or have any specific query, please don't hesitate to comment below. Please do hit like, share and subscribe, which will help us keep going with the channel.